Hello, beautiful people. Sarah here. We are on day 3 of how to eat carbs. You guys, we have really dived into the topic of carbohydrates. And we are debunking all of that fake news that diet culture has been shoving down our throats for decades. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I am so guilty of being the type of person that was like, no, I can't have carbs. I am trying to lose weight, or I feel bloated, so I can't eat carbs. You guys, it goes so much deeper than a carbohydrate. And the fact of the matter is, carbs are super vital to your wellness, and we should be eating them, but we should be eating the right kind of carbs, the ones that are packed with nutrients, fruits, veggies, whole grains, all of that kind of stuff. And healthy carbs are found everywhere. So it really just becomes about shifting your perspective and your mindset to recognizing what is a simple carb, what is a complex carb, and making a good choice. So today, as we wrap up our info series on how to eat carbs, I'm sharing a incredibly delicious recipe with y'all. Okay, this is something that I sort of piecemealed together from a couple different places that I found somewhat similar recipes. So there are ingredients in here, excuse me, that maybe you don't have lying around in your pantry already, but I promise you they're so worth going to the grocery store and getting because, for one, they're like pantry safe, so they're not going to perish quickly. So you can go grab these ingredients and then you can make this dish a whole bunch of times because the product's not going to go bad on you. So what we're doing basically is substituting a super refined sugar dessert option that you would maybe see during the holidays, like on the table at Thanksgiving. And we're substituting it with this super luxurious pudding. It is loaded with cashews, whole grains, pitted dates, protein powder, cocoa powder, almond milk. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's actually really easy to make. I'm doing a little bit of a double portion. So click the link in the comments below, or just drop the word carbs in the comments below, and I'll get you the free workbook. That's where the recipe lives. So let's get started. This is a Vitamix. You can use whatever kind of blender option you have. I would suggest soaking your cashews for at least a few hours. You could do it overnight if you want. It doesn't really matter. It's basically just going to create this murky looking water, which you're going to use because you're using water anyways for the recipe. So just keep the water. Don't discard it. And so I've got about a cup and a half or so of cashews. Recipe calls for a cup, but you can make this in any quantity that you want. Just to remember, if you add more cashews and more rolled oats, you're going to have to add more liquid because you want that nice consistency of like a pudding, right? We don't really want it to be drinkable, but we also want it to have a nice sort of liquid base too. Okay, cashews are in. I'm going to add my rolled oats. There's 1 cup of whole rolled oats. I use this brand, the Red Mill. I like it. This bag, it's not super expensive. It lasts a while. I don't make this dish, but maybe once a month because it is a super delicious treat and it's not something that I always need to have on hand, right? Pitted dates. All right. This is probably something that you don't look for, don't come across that often. I'll show you I found these at H-E-B. So this is the brand that I like it. Kitchen shears. Who uses kitchen shears, right? I don't think that scissors are used enough in the kitchen. Most people tend to use a knife, which is fine. Totally makes sense. But doing it this way, I don't need a cutting board. It cuts right through the date because they're pitted. It's just so much easier. I don't know. What do you cook with that? Like if you ever wanted to cut a noodle or something. I even did this with a jalapeno the other night. Just cut it right up. It's great. So I'm adding 3 pitted dates to this Vitamix. side note, completely not part of the recipe. This was my mother's Vitamix. I did not know that she still had this. And when I came across it, cleaning out a storage unit, I was like, yeah, I'm going to clean this and I'm going to keep it because a Vitamix can be expensive. And if it still works, why on earth would I get rid of it, right? Okay, so I'm going to start adding my liquids and my powders. So I've got a cup of that cashew water. Again, it doesn't have to be cashew water. I just soaked the cashews so they were a little bit softer. It's just better on the blade. So it's just smart to do. I'm not going to measure this out. I'm just, because there's not that much in here. So I'm just going to use the rest because it's going to be roughly a cup. And to be honest, I may need to add even more liquid to this. If so, it'll be water. I'm not that concerned with it. I am going to do 1 teaspoon of cocoa powder because cocoa powder makes everything delicious. This is salted caramel protein powder. I personally use the Zingular brand when it comes to my protein powders. They're packed with vitamins and minerals, and they actually have digestive enzymes in them, which most protein powders don't have any of that. And this salted caramel flavor is amazing. I'm happy to share with you if you guys want to take a look at the ingredient list for that. All right, so I put 2 scoops of the protein powder in here. You guys, here comes the magic. It's gonna get loud. Okay, I'm gonna check the consistency of this. It kind of still sounded like the cashews were breaking up. Ooh, okay, yeah, this is actually feeling pretty good. Let me scrape the edges. Some of the cocoa powder got caught up there. Okay, I actually think I'm gonna give this a taste as well. Okay, it does need a little more blending. Basically, there's just like a tiny bit of grittiness there, and that's from the cashew. So I'm gonna blend it up a little more. Okay. I love this Vitamix. This is actually my first time using it. Okay, so what I have are these adorable little mason jars. They're so freaking cute. This is what I'm going to portion out all of this into. I may not have enough jars, so what I'm going to do is portion out what I have. I've got about 5 of these. What's left over, I'll just put in a different container and save for later because this is going to last. And the reason I use this size is because it's the perfect snack size. There are relatively higher amounts of carbs in your dates, your rolled oats, your cashews. But again, these are really, really good carbs. They're really high in fiber as well. And so this whole dish is just something that you can treat yourself, right? Instead of having that super high sugary dessert during Thanksgiving, try this baby out. And what we're going to do is we're going to put these in the fridge. These are going to cool for about 1 to 2 hours. And when you pull it out of the fridge, it should have the consistency of a pudding, essentially. And I promise you will not be disappointed. I've topped these. So when I'm ready to actually eat them, I have just eaten it right out of the jar. Or sometimes I'll top them with some fresh fruit, or I'll even do a sprinkle of cinnamon. Cinnamon is like a magical spice. If you have any inflammation kind of issues, cinnamon is fantastic for fighting inflammation, along with, a lot of other foods. But cinnamon is one of those things that you could top to something super delicious like this and get those added benefits. Okay, so this is wrapping us up for how to eat carbs. And I really hope that this info series has helped open your eyes to the fact that carbs are not the enemy. Diet culture really needs to be challenged, when it comes to how to live a healthy lifestyle. Carbohydrates are absolutely part of that. So it's one thing to drop weight really quickly and, have a super high fat diet. That can work, but that's also not super sustainable and it's not super great for your health. So at some point, carbohydrates have to reintroduce themselves into your life. And I'm here to help you do that. So again, drop carbs in the comment if you'd like to access the free workbook that has this recipe, as well as some other action items that are going to help you sort the carbs that are in your pantry and your fridge, get you a little grocery list, all the goods. Okay. And then be sure to set your calendars because I'll see you back in here on October 24th. We are doing a pre-Halloween sugar detox. Now, don't freak out. It's not a full 100% sugar detox. This is about identifying those sneaky foods that are super high in sugar that maybe you don't really realize, and how you can easily substitute your day-to-day life by eliminating some of these refined sugars, these hidden little sugar bugs, with healthier options. So I'll see you back here, and you guys drop any questions you have. This has been fun.